KB9VZU, standing by. CQ, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net. This net is held each Wednesday evening on or about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an open net, but a controlled net. At any time, a station may break into the net to pass emergency traffic. At this time, are there any stations with emergency traffic? Hearing none, we'll continue with the net. The purpose of this net is to promote ham radio, provide D-Star related information and news, give D-Star capable amateurs the opportunity to improve their communications, and just have fun and talk about the show that recorded this evening. Your net control operators for this evening will be VK5PBZ, that's Alan, Tomby Bay, Australia. K8JTK, that's Jeff, he's in Westlake, Ohio, very near Cleveland. He's also the creator of our webpage, hamnationdstar.net. And then myself, I'm going to take just a couple of stations I heard in there prior to the net starting. I'll take a few check-ins. I'll let it reset. My call sign's KB9VZU. My handle's Dave, located in Newcastle, Indiana, about 40 miles straight east of Indianapolis, Indiana. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask for a few check-ins. I've got W6 GPS Don out there in the mobile. He's on his way to a ham benching, I think, already. So, Don, if you want to have a go ahead on since you're mobile, go ahead and any comments you have there, yeah, we'll pass around the other stations. So, W6 GPS Don in the mobile, go ahead.
Yeah, this is W6 GPS Mobile, just entering the city of Laurel, Mississippi, on the way to Wayne Ham Fest. That'll be this weekend. So I've been listening on D-Star all the way down, having a great time. Those of you that were listening to the show and Gordon got to the Outbackers, it kind of brought a tear to my eye because I really enjoyed doing the Outbacker antennas from like 1990 to about 1998, and so I really enjoyed that. Memories there. Anyway, I do want to ask if there's we're having a little bit of some people are having some issues with hotspots, reflectors, ICOMs work, Kenwood sometimes don't work. If anybody is having those kind of issues or symptoms, anyway, I don't know if it's just the internet, but if anybody's having some of these issues that maybe the ICOM works and the Kenwood doesn't, or vice versa, if you could just drop me an email at my Yahoo account, w6gps@yahoo.com. I'll start a dialogue with you, and we're trying to pin down a few things here. And that's all I have. Back to net control, W6 GPS Mobile.
All right, Don, we appreciate those comments, and I appreciate you putting your hand out there to any amateur operator having issues with their connectability, we'll call it. So I'll just drop you an email there, and also make sure to check out Don's videos that he has out there on YouTube, too. W6 GPS, if you just search that on YouTube, you'll be able to find all kinds of stuff there he's got going on his amateur radio hobby. And you be careful in your travels. We'll look for you next week, too, young man. Be careful. All right, next quick key I had was VA3ZTF. VA3 ZTF. Go ahead. 14 Charlie George, you want to have some comments here on the Ham Nation D-Star After Show. Go ahead.
VA3 ZTF out here in Ottawa, Canada. And not too much for the That's been a great show. I'm really interested in that plywood build that Bob's doing. Looking forward, I see he's got a parts list up, but at the very least for the power supply, but looking forward to thinking about build that. Put an order in for all the parts. I want to say thanks again to Don. I was speaking to him earlier, and great conversation. I want to welcome Ralph. I didn't quite catch his call sign either, but welcome to Amateur Radio, and welcome to D-Star. With that, I'll turn it back to Net Control, the VA3 ZTF.
All right, fine business there, and excellent signal out of Canada this evening, and appreciate your comments and you coming in there and getting your call sign in the logbook. We'll get this added to the wiki page for this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show now. With that, we're going to pass it over to Ralph, and we'll announce to the net here that he's new to amateur radio and real new to D-Star, so we'll make sure you want to pass our webpage along to him and give him some assistance in getting his radio set up. HamNationDStar.net. HamNationDStar.net. This time I'll hand it over to KN4BNW, our first time check-in here with us on the net. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yes, I am very new to this, so I am located in middle Alabama, central Alabama, close to Montgomery, and very new to this, so I'm going to say very little, move out of the way, and listen and learn, so to speak. Thank you.
Very well. Yeah, if you'll hang out here, we'll probably have some of the show hosts will be checking in with us here momentarily. George has been with us the last couple of weeks. W5JDX is his call sign if you want to listen for that. If you've got any questions about the show that's recording right now on the Twit Network, as you start watching those, if you're familiar with Ham Nation that they're recording, if you have any questions that come up, you can always pass those along. And then we also have the essence of HamNationDStar.net. George will have a technical question where he gives away prizes each week, and you can sign up directly on the sponsor link drop down that Jeff's created there on that webpage, HamNationDStar.net. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Co-Net Controller Alan, BK5PBZ in Tomby Bay, Australia. Alan, I'm running a clean log for you, so if you want to just take the check-ins, I'll keep the numbers for you. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much there, today. Very good evening to you again there. I've Jeff is on board there. If you're on board here, Jeff, just give us a flick there, and we'll acknowledge your call sign. Good evening, all. Thanks for being part of the net. The operator here is Alan. My call sign's Victor Kilo 5 Papa Bravo Zulu. My location is Tomby Bay. My state is South Australia. My capital city is Adelaide. And lovely, bright, sunny day this way. When stations check in, could you please check in with Fanatics and slowly. And if you're mobile, please state if you're mobile so that we can take your call, your check-in above others there. Good evening. Stations check into the Ham Nation D-Star After Show net. Go ahead.
W34IRU.
We have two stations there. Thanks for checking. November 0, Bravo Fox. Very good evening. Do you have any comments on tonight's show so far? Go ahead. Comments are, I just listened to the show on the 5 megahertz band out of Tennessee on kind of fun to do that while I do some. Anyway, I'll hear you from Australia there. Great signal as always, and I had audio trouble. My name is Slovan, Colorado. I'm on a dongle tonight. This is NGOBF. Well, Steve, nice talking to you again there. Thanks for checking in with us and giving me the pleasure to say g'day to you each time there. And yeah, the dongle sounds well also there, Steve. So no problems. Have a nice evening. Any other questions? Wish to check into the net. So go ahead.
Kilo Zero Golf Mike Kilo.
Kilo Zero Golf Mike Kilo. A very good evening to you. Go ahead.
Good evening, Alan. K0GMK here in Rochester, Minnesota. I haven't watched the program yet. I'm not watching it live. I'll watch it after the download, when I download. But I enjoy it every week, and I also enjoy listening to the D-Star Net. And greetings to you in Australia. Nice to hear you again. Back to the net.
Nice talking to you also there. Thanks for checking in. Nice audio from the 5100 there. Any other stations that wish to check in, go ahead.
KE5R8M.
Kilo Echo 5, Romeo Hotel Mike. Very good evening, go ahead.
Good evening, Alan. They're on the net. This is Jim, Kilo Echo 5, Romeo Hotel Mike in North Mississippi. Appreciate you calling the net. It's good to hear from you again. Checked in with you, I believe it was last week. And currently watching the show. I kind of lost part of my internet service at the when Bob Howard started his presentation. So then it came back on. And so I have to pick his section up on the replay. Anyway, that's really all I got. Like I say, 73 to you, and appreciate you calling in. This is KE5RHM.
Thanks for those kind words there, Jim. I appreciate you checking in with me also and having a chat there. And thanks for your comments. Any other station that wish to check into the Ham Nation D-Star pursuing that, so go ahead.
VK2PWR.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Zulu Bravo Lima, Bill, Dallas, Texas.
We have two stations there. Thanks for checking in with Phonetics. First station I have, Kilo 2, Papa Whiskey Romeo. Very good evening and thanks for checking in. Go ahead.
Here's VK2 Papa Whiskey Radio returning. Very good show as always. Watched it live for the first time in a while. And now I've got my own D-Star hotspot. I don't have to worry about going through local repeaters up here in Sydney. Back to net control. VK2 PWR.
Thanks very much for checking in there. Hope you're getting cooler weather across your way there. You've had it pretty hot for the last fortnight there. And it's nice and fine without no rain. Next station is Kilo Fox 4, correction, Kilo Fox 5, Zulu Bravo Lima. Very good evening to you there, Bill. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, Alan. Good evening, everyone else on the net. KF5ZBL Bill here in Dallas, Texas. So, sitting here watching the show and finally got a speaker going. So that's all kind of good. It looks like he's finally finished it. So. Other than that, enjoyed Gordo's little presentation on the antennas there, and I also like the pine board. Pine board was quite interesting. So, other than that, that's pretty much about it. Good night. Good show. KF5ZBL.
You're welcome there. Thanks for being part of it there. Really enjoy being here. And taking check-ins there. Is there any other station that wishes to check in? Go ahead.
Three. Juliet India Tango Randy in Louisville, Texas.
Rico 4, Juliet in India Tango. Very good evening to you there, Randy. Do you have any comments so far of the show? Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Enjoying the net, enjoying the animation this evening. Saw some interesting stuff I did in high school involving vacuum tubes. As well as George's thing on crossover speakers. Boy, talking about going back to the 70s and 60s. But I'm still enjoying it. I always watch the show every week when I can. And glad I tuned in here on D-Star. This is KE5ICX. KE5JIT Randy. I'll get it right.
You're welcome there, Randy. Yeah, I get a little bit carried away sometimes there. But thanks for your comments there, and seems that's going to be interesting to look at as always. I can't watch it live, but I enjoy sitting down in the lounge with a beer and watching it, downloading it and watching it in our evening there. very interesting articles that are put on there. Don't know where they get where all the information from, but there you go with amateur radio. There's a lot more to be learned than what you've read there. Thanks for checking in, Randy. I'll take a couple of more calls and I'll pass it to the next operator. 2 more calls, go ahead.
VE2BED.
Victor Echo 2, Alpha Echo Delta. Very good evening. Do you have any comments on tonight's show? Go ahead. Victor Echo 2, Alpha Echo Delta. Good evening. Do you have any comments on tonight's show? Go ahead. Possibly down Lincoln, and made some inquiries before I pass it across the next operator. Made some inquiries to ICOM Australia here today about the new 4100. I'm really anxious to have one sitting on my table this way. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do is make it base, or I'm going to make a portable system up for it with it there. But anyhow, we'll pass it across to the next operator. Kilo Tango 8, Juliet Tango Kilo. Jeff keeps up an excellent website for us there. If you Google Hamlet Nation D-Star, .net or D-Star, you'll find the excellent site that he keeps up and running for us, and thanks very much there, Jeff. So your turn at the pen. Kilo Tango 8, Juliet Tango Kilo. Good evening, Jeff.
Right on, thank you very much. KJTK here, located on the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. Couple of announcements real quick. I just see 7192 in the chat room there for the HFNet, so there's just going to be 40 meters. Still going to wait a little bit for 20 meters to get back recovered, probably after daylight savings time changes here in the States. But if you have DMR, you can check in with the DMR net. They're on TAC 311. That's Talk Group 311. And check in with them. Usually Echolink is on star, do drop in star. Node number 355800. And if you missed any of that, we have that all up on our website at hamnationdstar.net. With a bunch of other good stuff on how to get in the chat room, how to watch live if you're not familiar with the setup of Twit, and a whole bunch of stuff linked up there, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Again, hamnationdstar.net. Do you have anyone else that would like to check into the net here? The show's still going on, but we'll take some check-ins. Please call KJTK now.
N8CQX.
Alright, got one station that time, N8CQX. Good evening to you. Did you catch Ham Nation tonight? Do you have any comments for the net?
Hey everyone on the net. My name is Johnny, and I live in North Canton, Ohio. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the show tonight. But anyway, I'd like to say, it was an interesting day here in Ohio. We had very high winds. I heard on the news it was running 40 to 45 miles an hour with gusts up to 65. And unfortunately, that was a little bit too much for one of my tree branches, and it fell on my deck. Luckily, it didn't break anything, so that was good. Anyway, back to you. That's about all I have to say. NHCQX.
All right, well, good evening from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I am located. We got other net controls in Indiana and Australia there, but I am on the west side of Cleveland, Ohio, and probably had pretty much the same experience you had. Rush hour was pretty much a disaster. Roads were going slow, and roads were closed. Major roads were closed, and it took me about an hour to get home due to traffic lights being out and all that kind of stuff. So we had some pretty good winds, and in downtown Cleveland, it sounded like jet planes flying overhead all the time. So it was very, very windy, incredibly windy in northern Ohio. Thanks for checking in, and like I said, if you didn't check out our website, go over there, and we'll take your check-in, even if you didn't catch the show or you never even heard of Ham Nation tonight. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to do so. Anyone else like to check in, please call now.
K9 ATX, Andy.
TY4PRT.
Okay, I picked up two more stations, K9ATX and KY4TRK. Good evening to both of you. I'll just throw out there that seems like some people are having internet issues and things like that tonight, so if you don't hear your name called or your call sign called out there, try again the next round. We'll get you in there. K9ATX, did you catch the show tonight? Do you have any comments for the night?
Well, good evening, everybody on the net from K9 ATX. No, I don't watch the show. I'd sooner watch it at my convenience on the Twit webpage or YouTube, and I can kind of digest that easy mouthfuls, if you will. I certainly like the idea of that pine boarding of stuff. That's a great idea, especially for beginners or somebody that wants to start building. Way back in the day, back in the 50s, when I first got my start, so to speak, me and my dad built a night kit crystal radio that was on a kind of a pine board thing and had to wind the coil by hand and tap it and so forth. So it was quite a thing, but it picked up the broadcast stations around Milwaukee, okay with a 100-foot wire hooked on it. So hopefully they can keep some more of those projects going with that. Of course, maybe finding some of these parts is a hard thing these days. It's not like it used to be trying to chase down some of these capacitors. A lot of the stuff's all going by the wayside, it seems like. So other than that, it was pretty windy up here in Milwaukee, and it seemed like channel WTMJ radio in Milwaukee was knocked off the air for at least an hour. I don't know what happened. I had to go to work, but whether they had a power outage or something that happened at the transmitter site or what, although nothing's been said about it anymore. So other than that, that's about all from up here near Milwaukee from K9 ATX.
All right, Andy, very good. Yeah, sometimes that information will either just, tweet out or something real quick, so anybody that's following can get the information, but they typically don't talk about it too often and all that, because it may just be, one of the towers went out that was kind of covering your area or something, strange like that. So, but nonetheless, thanks for your comments there. And I hope they do bring more of these build type projects, because I always enjoy doing them, or enjoy watching them anyway. I do mostly software and Raspberry Pi programming, stuff like that. So to see some of these build projects and how it used to be done is always kind of fascinating me. And both George and Bob there do a great job. Thanks for checking in with us, and if you haven't checked out our website, look at hamnationdstar.net. And thanks for taking time to support the show. Next up on the list, I have KY4TRK, regular check-in.
Good evening. I'm sitting out here in Orange, Texas this evening and still watching the show. I got good internet tonight, so I'm able to enjoy the show. Last week was kind of a shot in the dark. So I just want to say good evening and check in for the evening. Other than that, 7-3 from KY4TRK.
Hey, James, very good. Yeah, I just happened to pull up your QRZ page, and that's a very nice QSL card that you have there. I like the animation there with the truck and all the ham radio stuff on it. Thanks for checking in with us, and hope you're traveling safe and everything like that, and enjoying your stay down there in Texas. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. This is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net right here on Reflector 14 Charlie. Your net control is currently Kilo 8 Juliet Tango Kilo. Do we have anyone at all wishing to check in? Please call now.
November 6, Charlie Zulu Echo. I'll try it again. Norway 5, Whiskey Delta. M16 7.
Let's try that again. I got N6CZE. Gary, both times you keyed up, but it sounded like you were talking, but I didn't get any audio. So I don't know if your dongle has the right microphone or anything connected. You might want to check that. And I got N4 WD. And I just wanted to mention, it seems like a lot of people are having internet issues, whether it's weather related. I seem to, from time to time be dropping people on the reflector here, but more than likely the internet connection. So if you don't hear your call sign called out when I acknowledge you, try again, and we'll get you on the list if at all possible. So at this time, we'll see if Gary's there. N6CZE.
November 6, Charlie Zulu Echo. Do you have a copy tonight?
Yeah, Gary, I can tell you're there, but your audio is way, way, way down. It's there's almost no deviation.
Okay, well, see, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. He's like, I don't know what's going on with that. Let me work on everything.
All right, Gary. No problem. It's incredibly well. So I can tell you there, but we're on the audio, and check it out. Also, we can have a live stream, so anyone can check their signal and money will have Reflector 14. That's of course our one of the shows out there, not that click on those and listen live. Next to the N4 WWD.
It's I'm just going to go down and I watch it. Good morning. It's Wayne. We're in Redworth. Interesting show tonight. Everybody else was having problems. Never did get pretty often now. They go to close off. And they're showing you a video. So that may be part of the internet services tonight. It's got a local, local police department having 911 problems also heard down. Must be that last floor communication. That's it. And YWD. I think we're back in 60 City. Yep, so did I hear you? Yeah, they're on 6 City. Sorry about that.
There, Randy. I have your call sign correct as November 5 Whiskey Delta. Apologies. I know it didn't seem right, but it had scrolled off the screen. Yeah, it seems like a bad night for communication, power companies, all that kind of fun stuff, because there have been plenty of call-outs for the local fire departments here, and responding to transformers blowing up or power lines that are sparking, all that kind of stuff. But the link that we have on our website, for me, it went to Twitch, TWITCH, as the stream provider. So, it could be just one of the providers that's having an issue. But if you use the link that we have up on the website, right below the live stream, there is a couple blue boxes, and one of them kind of looks like an arrow pointing out to pop out the video in a new window. But right next to that, it has a couple different providers that anyone can select from Twitch, Ustream, YouTube, that kind of stuff, or just regular audio. So for me, the Twitch stream seems to be working well for me. All right, with that, we'll go back to N6CZE.
Well, a very good evening, sir, and my camera decided to take over the microphone job here and disconnected my regular mic, so I was going into a different one that the game was way down. So anyway, hopefully we're back where we need to be here. Anyway, good show tonight. Kind of fun watching that speaker repair. That was kind of neat. I don't think I'd have the patience for that, but he did a great job. And that building the power supply was pretty neat too. And I'm glad they emphasized on that for a lot of the young kids watching about the little stick there to ground out the capacitors. I've been bit by a few of them. I'm sure we all have at one time or another. So that was a good thing. Anyway, good show tonight. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for doing the net, my friend, and we'll just kind of listen out. Back to you. N6CZE.
Yep, sounding great, Gary. Got it figured out there, and yeah, it seems to happen from time to time, especially if you plug and unplug stuff, your USB devices and USB sound devices, and if I unplug the signaling, sometimes it's not recognized by some of the programs that use it, but other times it seems to be there. So yeah, always good to check the setup once in a while there, especially if you're on a laptop, mobile device, or that kind of stuff. But hey, you got it in there and sounded great, and thanks for all your comments tonight, because I don't know if I'd have the patience for that speaker repair there, but like I said about the other build projects, it's great to see and see how it's done and have an appreciation for it, since something they wanted to do. But thanks for checking in on us, taking a couple minutes to support the net tonight. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. Again, this is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net on Reflector 14 Charlie. Our website is hamnationdStar.net. Just real quick, some of the other After Show nets. 7192 is the 40-meter net. TAC 311 or Talk Group 311 is the DMR net. And Echolink should be on Star New Drop In Star, note 355800. And with that, we're looking for check-ins to the Ham Nation D-Star After Show net. Please call now.
November 9, Golf X-Ray, India.
Kilowatt 1, Mike Fox, Norwalk, Connecticut. All right, we got two more stations, N9GXI and K1MF. Just as I mentioned previously, if I don't hear your name called, you might be having internet issues, and try again the next round. We'll get you in if at all possible. But N9GXI, you're first.
good evening to everybody on the net. Like everybody else, I enjoyed watching the show today. I try to watch it most nights when I'm available. And I like that project by Bob Hale, and I'm glad that he emphasized the dangers of electricity, because I used to work with electricity all the time, and I know the dangers of it. So back to you, MNG, is that clear?
Oh yeah, I hear you. My dad can, rewire a house and, work with 220 and stuff like that. I won't go anywhere near that stuff. 12 volts is my sweet spot. So, it's always good to have an appreciation for that. And glad you're able to catch the show and enjoy it tonight. Thanks for checking in with us and showing your support for Ham Nation. K1MF, you're up next on the list. All right, very good. Good evening to the net, and nice to be here. I like the transmitter, the power supply that Bob did for the upcoming transmitter kit. My nephew got hooked into watching Ham Nation and Amateur Logic and Ham College a little over a year ago, and he ended up getting his, from all that, he got excited and went out and got his license, and last year he got the tech and the general and advanced, and he built this past winter a nice 40-meter receiver kit that Randy was building on Ham Nation, so my nephew's all excited about that now, and we're going to build the 40-meter transmitter kit that Bob is building now. We're going to get the parts together and build it together, but it's a good program and a wonderful way of promoting ham radio. And my 40 years in it, and it's still exciting every day. Back to that. This is K1MF. Good that they got licensed and everything like that. I'm always excited to get people licensed and into the hobby. It's always interesting the backgrounds that people come from, and I've actually seen, I think, either 3 or 4 candidates come in as not having a license and leaving as extras. And usually those people are either in the industry or they work for, like the FAA or something like that at a highly technical level, so they can pretty much breeze through most of that stuff. Or like EE students, electrical engineering, that kind of thing. But get more people in it, and we certainly need younger blood there. But thanks for checking in with us and showing your support for Ham Nation this evening. Good to have some stations there from the New England area. All right, we're at the bottom of the list. This is the Ham Nation Geisler After Show Net. The show just wrapped up. Do we have anyone out there that would like to check in? Please call now.
89 and change.
KC3, LCF.
All right, picked up another 2 stations there, AB9FJ and KC3FCF. Good evening to both of you. And a lot of people have been mentioning internet problems. If you try to check in and didn't hear your call sign called, please try again next round, and we'll try to get you in there. But AB9FJ, good evening to you. Did you catch Ham Nation tonight, and do you have any comments for the net?
Yes, I do. And by the way, I saw K9 MIT Chip. I saw his call sign flash by here on the dongle, so he must not have gotten through.
But anyway, yeah, while I was watching George at his speaker project, my attention was drawn to that Harbor Freight flyer that he was using as a tablecloth. And it was pretty funny. I think that was some kind of parody thing. I tried to go into the chat room to see if anybody else had noticed it, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to get a word in edgewise in there. So I don't know, if you didn't notice it, be sure to check it when we put it on the server. Play it back later and pay attention to the Harbor Freight flyer underneath the speaker. Isn't that okay?
Yeah, I think he did use that in the previous ones, kind of as a place to put stuff, and since he was gluing it, probably was an easy place to wipe excess glue or something like that. But I think I did catch that last time there. And also just to let you know, signal report-wise, since I see you're using a dongle, audio is just a tad hot there. It was popping pretty regularly, so you might want to back that down just a little bit there, and it'll sound much better for you. But hey, thanks for checking in, and hope you join us again next week. And thanks for showing your support for Ham Nation. And I'll put K9MIT down because I do not see him on my screen, so I'll put him at the end. But KC3FCF, you're next.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is KC3SCF over here in Western Pennsylvania, just south of Erie. Did get to catch about half of the Ham Nation. We have a local 2-meter net that we do on every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. So I was checked into that and then hopped on real quick to Twit to see the end of Ham Nation. I usually end up catching the recorded episodes instead of the live, but I thought I'd check it out live tonight. And I'm very new to D-Star. Just got my D-Star radio about a week or two, and finally got everything all connected, hooked up to where I was able to do the D-Star Connect. So just to check in and say hello and say the truth.
All right, very good. Well, we got you on the list, and thanks for showing your support for the show this evening. And yeah, apparently, according to Leo, the ones that count are the downloads. So if you go back and download the episode either from Twit or on your podcast app or Roku or something like that, those are the ones that count. But I tell you, the live is always a hoot because there's a lot of stuff that happens during the live taping that doesn't make the show, especially when Don gets involved there. But thanks for checking in with us from Pennsylvania there, and hope you guys are not having as much wind as we are. Let's see if K9MIT is out there. I didn't see him, but somebody said that he keyed up. Chip, are you there? K9MIT from KJTK.
Yeah, KHATK, Net Control. This is K9MIT. Good evening, Jeff, and good evening, Dave, if you're in the background there reading the mail. Yeah, I did watch the show, and and also for Wayne, AB9FJ, I also noticed the Harbor Freight tablecloth, as you put it. And I was going to say something, but I decided to just be cool and just make a mental note of it for myself. Maybe I'll mention it on the Amateur Logic live show on this Saturday at 8 o'clock. And Mr. Isle, Bob, certainly threw me a curve with the with his naming that shorting stick. We had been exchanging a couple of emails regarding his project, and I mentioned to him that I still had somewhere my shorting stick, and he had met from the 70s. And he had mentioned, I forgot all about that. And the next thing I know, I'm seeing that tonight. So he caught me off guard on it. Anyway, I will say hello to the net members. I don't think I identified myself, or my QTH rather. I live in Kokomo, Indiana, about 40 miles north of Indianapolis, and running a DV dongle. So Jeff, good to hear you. I'll turn it back to you. And
everyone, don't forget to turn your clocks ahead this Saturday. KJTK, Net Control, this is K9MIT.
Yeah, it's also a good reminder for our international visitors and ones that check into the net that since we're changing time in the States, that the time the show starts will be changing for you. I know for some places they've already gone to daylight savings time, so it's a little bit of another juggle again because you probably had to adjust because you changed and we didn't, and now we're changing and you're not, kind of thing. So I believe the net will be starting at 0200 UTC if my math is correct there. So 0200 UTC on Thursday, and then that probably means the show will be starting at 0100 UTC on Thursday. Set your clocks accordingly, as they say. But Chip, we got you in there, and good to hear you're doing well and everything like that. Hopefully you're surviving all the winds and stuff like that everybody's been getting. All right, with the bottom of the list, this is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net on Reflector 14 Charlie. Our website is hamnationdStar.net. If you want to find out about the show, how to get into the chat room, watch live, the other after show nets, and even listen live to the D-Star stream here. Again, hamnationdStar.net. Do we have anyone else that would like to check in? Please call now.
K1BBN.
K0OJ.
All right, we'll hold it there because I see Amanda is in there. K1DDN, we'll throw it over to Amanda, let her make some comments, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the list. So Amanda, what do you got for us tonight? K1DDN, KJTK.
Hey Jeff, surprise, it's me. K0JSC, I'll grab her here and so she stepped away. And the 92 was loaned to somebody with my call on it, so I have to masquerade as Amanda. Good show, fun. I actually really enjoyed watching George rebuild a speaker. I didn't even know that was possible, so that's been very intriguing. Bob's project, obviously, too, but watching George rebuild a speaker was really cool. I just thought you threw them away, so it's pretty sweet. And let me hand it off to Amanda. She's stepping back into the room here. K0JSC, thanks for doing the net, Jeff.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be on the net. And what are my comments? I don't really have any comments except for, of course, it was a great show and loving the demo from Bob and building the pine board, and I think you guys all enjoy it too. And other than that, stay tuned for more information for Ham Nation 300. That's all I have. K1DDN, back to net.
Yes, absolutely. Stay tuned for some announcements on the 300th episode. There are some people that are involved in the planning with getting all that stuff set up there, including myself. So it promises to be a good time there. But Jeff, we got you in there. K0JSC put you on the list, and we appreciate both of you taking some time to check in with us on the net here. And give us your comments there. Appreciate it. Both K1DDN and K0JSC. This is KHJTK. Also on that round, I had a Kia from WA6UHA and K0OJ. So we'll go to those two stations and see what comments they have for us tonight. First up is WA6UHA. Oh, excuse me. Oh, fog in my throat. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, good evening, Jeff and the net. It's WA6UHA, and of course it's great to see Amanda there on Ham Nation. Does a wonderful job, as well as with all the other people who were in front of the camera there on Ham Nation. And yeah, I did see it tonight, and always
fascinated with Bob Heil's Pine Board circuit there in the power supply. I put together a power supply similar to that using a Bud chassis, but I used a 5U4 rectifier tube, a big old tube there, and it had 5-volt filaments, but the power transformers had 5-volt filament secondary winding as well as a 6.3 volt secondary winding, so I could use the 5-volt filament rectifier. But if you don't have a power transformer that has the 5-volt, then the way it goes with that 6X5 that Bob demonstrated there, and a great, wonderful power supply. It's just fantastic, just beautiful work putting that together. But I'm looking forward to that transmitter, that AM transmitter with the, I guess the 12AX7. They're using that as a mic preamp and modulator, and then the 12AU7. I don't know how they're going to use the 12AU7. One section could be for the oscillator, one could be for the PA. I'm not too sure. Of course, when you use a triode as a PA, you might require neutralization. So I don't know. We'll see what Bob comes up with. You know, when he gets to the actual building of the transmitter itself. But the power supply was phenomenal, and of course, Gordo with his mobile HF antennas, multiband, and so forth. And I didn't realize MFJ had a telescopic fiberglass antenna that's going to be extended up such a tall, I guess, good for a quarter wave on 20 meters. I also looked at the catalog and I saw a fiberglass telescopic mask available as high as 40 feet. I guess they come in several sections, and that might be a good idea to replace my metal support for the feed point of my Kohler antenna. That I have ladder line going up because that'll eliminate what I'm using is one of those the insulated spaces there to keep the fiberglass or keep the ladder line away from the mast there, because you're going to have it near metal. So I'm looking at that as a, go non-metallic for the support for the feed point. We'll see what happens with that. Other than that, not too much else going on. I'll pass it back over to you, Jeff. I don't know how well I'm holding it up here. So back to you from WA6UHA, Dave in San Francisco.
Yeah, you're making it pretty good. And just, maybe one drop or so, which is pretty good because a lot of the stations have been consistently dropping. And I even see that I'm missing some packets. So, it isn't a good night for communication to someone else on that previously mentioned. But hey, you were in there, and yeah, I'd love to see how everything turns out for that transmitter there. It'd be real interesting to see what they do and how they make it all work. I even saw it was the first round was posted on QRZ there on the front page. But glad you checked in with the net tonight, and good to hear you in there from California this evening. Next up is Colorado and K0OJ.
Oh boy, well, howdy doody everybody, and thanks, Jeff. Oh my, well, we got up to 64 today up here. I'm a good 150 north of where Jeff and Amanda are, so there you go. And, yep, caught the show. I kind of like Bob's purple glasses frames. Oh my, anyway. So, can't think of much here, but using an ID880H, Pi 2, UHF DV Megaboard, and recently learned how to jump around all the joints with touch tones instead. If you don't have it in your ID880H memory or whatever, and just touch tone them. So hey, back to the old auto patch days. K0OJ. And yeah, you guys back east, the people in Nebraska, I wish they'd keep Central Standard Time, and the other people wish they would keep Eastern Standard, because I don't like Colorado being on Central Standard Time. K0OJ.
Well, I say they should get rid of the whole daylight savings time thing and just stick with whatever it is in the summer, because I like the summer and longer days in the summer, but, not everybody
that same mindset, and if they ever seriously end up having that debate as to getting rid of daylight savings time, it'll probably go the other way that I don't like anyway. So, yeah, I think normally you guys are 2 hours behind us because it's just 11 o'clock here in the evening, and I think you guys usually end up about 2 hours behind that, so it'd be about 9 o'clock there. And yeah, it's always interesting and good debate. But yeah, the touchstone thing, I haven't started to do that. I know the open spot has some capability, and that's how you actually use a fusion radio on DMR talk groups and how you change it, and I think vice versa. You kind of do the same thing on the DMR radio for fusion. But yeah, I'm still used to the touchstone command for IRLP and All-Star and all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's almost like nothing. But to other people who never use it, it's a brand new world. But OJ, thanks for being a regular check-in and supporting the net tonight by checking in with us. We're at the bottom of the list once again. This is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net on Reflector 14 Charlie. We're looking for anyone at all wishing to check in. Please call K8JTK now.
N8EXO.
N8EXO.
Kilo 6, Romeo Quebec Delta.
All right, picked up 2 more stations that time around, N8EXO and KK6RQD. I believe that's it. Good to hear from you again. And as I mentioned, a lot of people seem to be having internet issues due to the weather, so if we didn't call you, make sure you try and get in next round, and we'll get you in there if we can. N8EXO, you're first. Did you catch Ham Nation tonight? Do you have any comments for the night?
I sure did, and like off the beginning of the show, and I will say that I am on Team Gordo. I love Gordon's segments and look forward to them every week. I think he just has a great delivery and a certain level of joy that he brings to ham radio, and you can definitely tell that he loves it every day. That's about it. My name is Brian from Dewey, Arizona. Watch Ham Nation every time I get the opportunity to do it, and Arizona does not observe daylight savings time, so we have to go through everybody else observing it. So that's all I got. Thanks a lot for the net. Cheers.
Hi, Brian. Very good. Yeah, I remember that Arizona doesn't do the daylight savings time thing. I used to work for a company where pretty much our bases of operation were Ohio and Arizona, oddly enough, and remember that they didn't do the daylight savings time thing, and we'd try to call them or something like that, and they wouldn't be in first in the morning. So it was always yeah, time change. But thanks for checking in with us, Brian. Hope you join us again next week. And if you didn't catch our website, it's hamnationdStar.net. That is next, KK6RQD.
Oh, good evening. Great show again tonight. Especially like the antenna segment from Gordo. I'd like to see some more of that. And I had some questions too on the chat room. Really enjoyed that. I saw the Iota Island information, very interesting. I had no idea. That was also good. And the best thing was to see a Simpson 260 meter in use. Thanks, Bob. I grew up on that meter myself, and really enjoyed seeing that. Over.
Yeah, I think my dad even has one, or if it's not exactly that, it kind of looks like one of those Simpson meters, because I remember seeing it, and I don't remember if it's specifically that model or something very close to it, but he's got a number of analog meters, and that was something I was always playing around with when I was little. I was making the meter move and stuff like that. Good times. But yeah, Gordo's always good for a couple antenna segments, and I know he was talking antennas. I think it was last show or the show before, and doing portable setups there. So thanks for checking in, Ed. Always good to hear from you there. Appreciate you taking time to do so. All right, once again, we're at the bottom of the list. I'll mention real quick, a lot of people have mentioned internet issues, and if I don't call you, try again, and we'll get you in there. At this time, we're looking for anyone at all wishing to check in to the Ham Nation D-Story After Show Net. All right, nothing heard, nothing heard. We'll give it one more shot here, or one or two more chances to see if we can get anyone in. Anyone at all wishing to check in. We'll do last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. Please call now.
W6 GPS with a comment.
Cleveland, Ohio.
This is KX.
All right, out of all of that, I got Don, W6 GPS with a recheck, Andrew, W8LIV, and KM6IPU it looks like in there. So those three stations, we'll first go up to Don, W6 GPS for his comments.
Well, first, I just want to say this is one of the very few times, probably the first time that I've been able to ride along on the whole net, and I've really enjoyed listening to everybody's comments. And this is a very boring ride from Chattanooga to New Orleans, and very remote areas. And I want to say that my little Verizon jetpack has worked flawlessly ever since I left Chattanooga, and I'm just really impressed with the coverage that I'm getting. And I do appreciate being a part of kind of a contributor to Ham Nation. It is fun to do. I'm going to try to shoot a little video at the Ham Fest, but got to make sure I got to help my buddy Phil out. That's my priority. But I just want to say that it is really nice to listen to ham radio that you can hear without fading and whining, and that's all I got to say. Back to net.
All right, very good, Don. Well, we're glad we could be of some entertainment, and we went pretty long tonight, so luckily we made the drive a lot shorter for you. And yeah, I did that once. I was out of town about an hour and a half so west of here in Toledo at a club meeting, and it was a Ham Nation night. So I brought along the Raspberry Pi and DVAP and internet and all that, and checked in on my way back, and it made the ride a heck of a lot shorter, as you indicated. So Don, we're always glad to have you in there, and you do a lot for getting everybody information on APRS and the Kenwood 74 there. Really appreciate what you're doing, and if you guys want any information on that, either look up W6 GPS in his YouTube channel, or shoot him an email and look up his email on QRZ. With that, we'll move down to Andrew, W88LIV.
Hey, what's up, Jeff? W8LIV. Hopefully I'm making it in. I'm not really sure what was going on. The console on my MMDBM looked like I was getting in, but you didn't hear me, so I don't know. Well, anyways, man, good to hear you on the air. We got 24 check-ins, I believe, for the DMR net. So if anyone has DMR on this net, feel free to check in next week. We'll be here. So, all right, I'll turn it back over to you. W3, catch you soon, Jeff. W8LIV.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll include myself in having the internet issues because people have indicated that they heard someone checking in or came up on their console, and I didn't see it at all. So it's not only me, or I won't say it's not me kind of thing. But glad I got you in there. And yeah, as Andrew mentioned, if anybody has DMR, they're on Talk Group 311. That's TAC 311. Also, just real quick, the other after show nets, 40 meters, 7192. That's 7192. And Echolink star 2 drop in star, node 355800. But I do know the DMR and Echolinks are already wrapped up for this evening, so probably the only chance is 7192 on the 40 meter net. All right, thanks Andrew for checking in, and always good to hear you there, and hope you guys had a great net as well. We'll move on to KM6 IPU. All right, we'll give another call just to see if he's out there, maybe lost internet. Kilo Mike 6, India Papa Uniform, KM6 IPU from KJTK in the net. All right, nothing heard there. So once again, last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. This is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net on 14 Charlie.
Zero VVK 10, Muscatine, over.
All right, we picked up John, KB0, VVK. Good evening to you. Go ahead with your comments.
I watched the show, it went very fast. I thought it was interesting. I also liked the IOTA thing for the islands that has some like to try to do that. So another enjoyable, fun show to watch. Over.
Yeah, I haven't done the IOTA thing. It's just not something that I've gone out and done. And even national parks, I kind of got started late on that, so came to the party late on that one, and did it pretty much the second half of the year. So maybe at some point I'll get interested. But yeah, the Islands on the Air is a good achievement to make there, because it's pretty much like national parks. It's usually remote places, and you have to take a bunch of gear over on a boat or something to get a place activated. But if you missed any of that information, make sure you go back and download this episode of Ham Nation and review what they talked about there. Last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. This is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net.
KE0 VVK.
John, I got another key up from you, KB0 VVK. Did you have additional comments?
I'm sorry, but the way you're done, I excuse the push the talk by accident. Sorry, over.
All right, not a problem. So with that, hearing no other stations, I'll see if Dave is out there and see if he got his internet back. KB9VZU from KJTK. You want to wrap the net?
I'll give it a shot here. I've been disconnected probably 6 times in the last 5 minutes, but we'll give it a shot here. There being no further business for the net, we'll go ahead and close this session of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net. Please join us again next Wednesday evening on or about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the same reflector, 14 Charlie. On behalf of VK5 PBC, KHATK, and myself, KB9VZU, we wish everyone a pleasant evening and thank the owners and operators for the use of the equipment this evening. and will now return reflector 14 Charlie back to normal amateur use.